we're going.
So welcome everybody. I'm back with another beautiful matrix reimprinting trainer in the Meet the Trainers Chit Chats. I've just renamed that, and I've just been speaking to Mette. I've been mispronouncing Mette's name for over a decade, so that's typical. So darling, would you like to just tell us how you got into EFT and matrix reimprinting and your background, if that's okay with you?
Yes, I am the lucky mother of some beautiful girls, and the two youngest are born with handicaps. So I have been on a long journey trying to, so to say, save my kids. And in 2012, I had no energy. I was stressed. I was so skinny. I knew I had to do something. So I left my family. My kids were not longer at home, so it was safe for leaving. I went to Mallorca and was sitting on this mountaintop and reading this book, Conscious Medicine, and read about this guy, Carl Dawson, and EFT and Matrix. And here was the tool I have been waiting for all my life to save the rest of the world. So I went to Carl, and he sent a strange email. I remember something about bringing all my stories and all my traumas. And honestly, I some allergies, some anxiety, and some PTSD, and I wasn't there. So I started working on one story that for me was an interesting story I had carried with me since I was a little girl. And this story was that I was with this daycare lady with my little brother, and we were four kids. And the lady said she was going to shop. So she said, okay, to her youngest son, who was 5 years old, you will look after the kids. And she left. And this guy, he went out into the kitchen and came back with a meat hammer. And he walked towards us kids with this meat hammer. So we ran into the corner. But my little brother, he couldn't walk, so he just sat there in the middle of the living room. So the guy went to my brother and lifted the hand, and I actually screamed. So there was not that much power in his hit, but enough so the blood was running down my brother's head, and the door opened, and in came this daycare lady, grabbed my brother and ran out. And for me, this was dangerous thing can happen when we least expect it. So I had to save everybody and be there all the time. And that was my life. And that was my first EFT matrix session. So everything said, that was so interesting. And of course, I had attracted people I had to save all my lives and animals and so on. So that was my first meeting, and I took it with me home to Denmark, started working with my kids with simple EFT, and sent one of them directly to the hospital with a detached retina. She has an eye disease. So I decided, all right, not working on my own kids, but all the other kids in the world I started working with. And well, EFT and Matrix became my new life. I loved it. And I was probably stalking our boss a little. So he maybe got a little tired of me because he made me a trainer in EFT and Matrix reimprinting in 15 and 16. And well, for me, it was very much about, yes, training lots of people, but I took it to Mallorca because that was where everything started for me. And I have been training ever since. But my students, they wanted more. So they asked me, what can you do with EFT and Matrix to get it further? So I spent a year or so trying to create a new education in Denmark. And we have now a basic healthcare education that is called EFT MRA, trauma therapist. So that's great. So besides training EFT and Matrix, I train lots of other classes, but the basics is EFT and Matrix reimprinting.
Gosh, I didn't know that story, Mette. And how old were you when this happened?
4.
Oh gosh, that is um that that is an overt trauma, to say the least.
Yes, but it's unbelievable. Just one session and everything just becomes clear what we have going and how we are living our lives, really.
And
So,
that belief has done, and I think this is the weird, well, it's not weird, but I can't think of another word at the moment, about trauma, that that horrendous trauma,
yeah,
horrendous, you've transformed so much, so many lives. And from that horrible moment, that experience, event, um, how much good it's brought into the world.
yes, yes. Today, I'm of course grateful. And what happens when we experience trauma? I had been totally dissociating from it, so it hasn't been on a conscious level anything I have had trouble with, but it certainly made sense when I got it cleared. So, and again, I can see how much it affects our field, our family. So it has been amazing to see what it has created. That anxiety I had,
Yeah.
I call it, created to loss. Yeah, fear of losing.
Isn't the body just amazing? What a great survival technique for you to stay disassociated for so long.
Yeah, amazing what we're capable of. So, but again, living a life dissociated is such a shame when we can be here. So I'm very grateful for coming back to my body and
Yeah.
experience life in another way, so to say.
Yeah, and I forgot that you were in Mallorca, so we have a little bit, because I used to live in
Hello.
Mallorca as well. I
Yeah,
completely forgot about that. Of course, there's so much land of the healing there in the mountains.
exactly. The power up there in Dea, where I lived, is amazing. So I drag all my students up there every time I have a class in Mallorca.
Oh, please invite me the next time.
So welcome. But the education isn't Danish, but please
I'll just sit there.
welcome.
I don't speak Danish, unfortunately.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, I struggle sometimes to speak English, so please don't. I'm not one of those multi-language. Maybe I should work on that in the Matrix. That could be a limiting belief.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that's in itself such a transformative story. And has do you think EFT and Matrix has helped you with your own children? Because
Oh
that's
yeah.
yourself. You
It has been amazing. I gave up when I tried to work with them in 12 because I sent one of them to the hospital. So I have been very careful working with them, but I was on the phone with Carl, and one of my daughters was in the hospital and had been through 2 operations at that time on her good eye, so to say, and she keeps getting these detached retinas.
hmm,
And he said, have you worked on your daughter? And I haven't, because I was afraid what I could do to her. So I did actually, and amazing. She is handicapped. She has not the IQ that is normal, so to say. But I thought we'll give it a go because she's in a alpha theta state, so she's very open. And I just asked her, so do you remember anything that was dangerous when you were a little girl? And she said, yeah, I fall out on the road and this car comes towards me and I think I'm going to die. I said, okay, so that little girl in there, can you see her? And she could. I said, what did she decide? Well, if things are coming towards me and they are dangerous, I throw up my eyes, and that is her sickness. So, wow, that was really interesting. And she, yeah, so there's much more peace now, but there's been lots of operation and there's been lots of damage. But that eye was better than ever. So thank you for our boss being so, yes, persistent and annoying.
yes, and what an amazing to see your. I'm just curious,
Yeah.
how old was she when she, I don't know if you, uh,
2. She was 2 when she had that, and the interesting thing is we know that we are on a subconscious level trying to get back to the accident to heal, and she loves horror movies because all the danger
oh
coming in,
gosh,
so it makes sense.
yes.
Yeah,
Isn't it wonderful when we can see it's like a dot to dot, isn't it?
exactly,
When we
so
start seeing that. And I'm just curious if you've just got so many stories, darling. Do you have a client story that you can share or
yeah. Oh God, I have many,
yeah,
so
I'm
but
sure you do.
I don't know how it is, but we always have to be very much aware that what we share. But I have a story with this young kid. I have been working very much with kids that were not fitting in, so to say. And he was a young teen, and he was afraid of life, so he didn't get out. He was basically staying inside all the time, and his mom was desperate to get him out. And we were in looking, and he was very open, and he very trustful, and we dived directly into mom's anxiety, and he got the awareness of how he actually has copied everything she was having in her body. So this guy slowly, from session to session, came back to life, and from not being able to join school, he went to China afterwards with his class, and he suddenly could go to next level after school gymnasium. I don't know what the word
Yeah,
is in English. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and he's absolutely fine, and he's 18 plus today, and is driving and everything. So for him, knowing that he has been stuck in something that wasn't his was amazing. So
that
just mention one.
yeah, that is in itself, isn't it? When we can actually understand and the client sees that's not even their
Exactly.
energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know how you work with children. I personally choose not to work with children, perhaps because I feel a little bit inauthentic. I don't have children myself. It's not my thing. But do you see patterns in the
In,
generations?
oh yeah, all the time, and you know, the difficult thing is not working with children. It's that they have parents, all right? So it's really about connecting with the child and creating the safe space and letting them know that everything stays between them and me. And from there, they really are very good at closing up and seeing how much they actually just copy and download and becomes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what do you think is the safest thing about working with Matrix? Um,
It's of course that we don't have to have all the emotions with us in, so it's safe, so to say, and it's actually sometimes very funny,
yes,
depending on where the client is. I love when you know they get the awareness of, whoa, this is what I've been doing for years, and just sitting there enjoying the party while they get more and more awareness of what's going on, really.
yeah, because we
Yeah.
don't have to go back and relive that trauma. And also, I just love the fact that we can deal with that trauma outside the body.
Yeah.
And with children, oh gosh, I could speak to you again for hours, darling. We haven't connected for so long.
Yeah, yeah. But working with kids, you know how much resistance there can be, the gatekeeper and blah blah. But they are so easy to work with. So it's fun. You you can skip so many steps that can be challenging working with adults that live up here. So I
Yeah.
can highly recommend working with kids.
Yes. I don't, yeah, not for me. Um, uh, but
Kids anyway.
yes, although I'm probably still a child myself, like all of us, because Matrix
Really.
helped me
Yeah,
regain that joy in my life.
yeah.
And if I were to simply ask you, and I've asked all the trainers, how would you sum up Matrix in one sentence?
Um, ooh. And an easy and blissful way to change your life.
Well, you do know that you're the only person that's done that in one sentence.
Woo, look at me.
So, what's your website so people can find you? And do you do any trainings or see clients in English?
I have clients in English, but I don't do trainings. But I'm always open.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, but I have it's called Energy Psychology Denmark, and it's of course written in Danish. So it's yeah, I don't know if I should spell it or something, but
No, we'll have
no,
a little link at the end of this
yeah,
video for you, darling. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just been a joy. And
yeah.
really we must keep in connection, sweetheart, because it's I just love your energy. I always feel so aligned. And
And so lovely to see you again. It's been many years, I think.
too long, darling. So thank you so
Yeah,
much for sharing your
thank you.
amazing work. You've just blown my mind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for this opportunity, Penny.
Thank you, darling.